Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei and Oscar Sudi clashed at a function that was being attended by the Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki. That is Professor Kithure Kindiki. Cherargei was the first to fire the salvo, and he made some statement that feels a little bit unsettling for the people who are working on the broad-based government.
Your Excellency, kwa mambo ya taifa, wewe usijali. Mimi I want to tell, niliona watu wengine wakiongea wakisema ati in case tukienda negotiation na broad base, sisi tuko broad base, lakini kuna viti mbili hatuwezi ongelea kwa coalition, President William Ruto na Professor Kithure Kindiki. I want to tell them waombe zile viti vingine mpaka ya mzee ameta. Lakini tukienda any negotiation in building a coalition going into the future of 2027 to 2032, the Deputy President of His Excellency Dr. William Ruto is Professor Senator Kithure Abraham Kindiki, kwa sababu ya shukrani yetu kwa kusimama na kijana yetu Rais William Ruto. So I want to tell wenzangu, kama ni wale tuko broad base, kama ni wale wanataka tufanye kazi pamoja, viti yote mbili ya juu ya rais na deputy shaenda, watafute ingine, kwa sababu hii yako ni assured. Sini namna hiyo anole nini jiji magarara jiji. So your excellency, relax. Hao watu wa Nandi, nimesikia mtu akisema sisi tuko na shukrani, na ikifika wakati tutatoa shukrani yetu kwa kisha 2032 wewe ndio rais wa taifa letu la Kenya, na asante kwa kusimama na His Excellency the President.
According to Sudi, he made some statements that are a little bit unsettling for the coalition or the broad-based government that they are trying to build.
Sisi wanasiasa bishops wengine tunakosea. Tunakuja kanisani hapa badala ya kuchangia mambo ya kanisa tunaongeza mambo mengine hapo mpaka tuharibu mambo mengine ya mbele huko. Najua ndugu yangu senator ameongea hapa mambo ya broad based. Hiyo broad based senator tuachane naye. Kuna mwenye atapanga hiyo maneno. Angama jesangu tuntokoto mautkenate. Changa lekte mitayo. So broad based tuko sawa. Mambo ya deputy na mambo ya na president, hiyo ni kitu walipata, wanajua, sio lazima tuwaambie. Hii nyingine yote tutawapangia na itakuwa sawa. Tunataka tushikanishe inji iwe moja. Magamaje kotabi huyo yani kakutao gengwererge sijui kamine. So tuende pole pole, mambo itakuwa sawa. Kita na muhimu senata kimeje gejo ngajara 2027 sige banga skoro ni gumie ngala jai ka jawara wala shega nag magwanga ni sai kubanga ni pada na second. So there have
been talks in the corridors where people are saying that President William Ruto might look for another running mate or deputy president heading into 2027 because Kindiki comes from Central Kenya. There's that perception that Central Kenya voters have left President William Ruto's government and they have formed their own party under Rigathi Gachagua, which is the DCP. So, and politics in Kenya is a game of numbers. Generally, not only in Kenya, politics is a game of numbers. Most pundits are looking at it from this angle, that what is it that Kithure Kindiki will bring on the table? Will he bring numbers? Because as it is right now, President William Ruto is looking for numbers. So, if he doesn't bring numbers, then that position would rather be given to a region that will bring numbers on the table. And there have been talks of President William Ruto looking for a running mate or a vice president from either Western Kenya or Nyanza. And there are names that have been floated. Some of the names that I've heard are the likes of Gladys Wanga, the likes of Oparanya, the likes of Badi, and the rest. Cherargei's statement was a little bit unsettling, and you could tell from the body language of the members of parliament who were in this meeting. And that is why I think Oscar Sudi came out and tried to calm down things by telling CHERARGEI that they will cross that bridge when they get there, because as it is right now, they've not gotten to a point whereby they can now start talking about running mate and positions within the broad-based government. But the question here is, was this discussed by President William Ruto's kitchen cabinet? And if so, what might have informed this? One for me is that CHERARGEI was kind of trying to reassure Professor Kithure Kindiki that he should not kind of feel unsettled with the discussion that is going on about the broad-based government. And it was just because he was their visitor, it was kind of reassuring him that he needs to do his best to bring votes on the table. Secondly, he was trying to challenge Kithure Kindiki that somehow he needs to work hard and prove his worth ahead of 2027 general election, because as they will be talking about which coalition to get into, that is President William Ruto, just as I've said, he will need to look for someone who will bring in numbers. So Kithure Kindiki will have to go back to the drawing board. He will have to go back to his backyard and convince his people to vote for President William Ruto in 2027. And the litmus paper will be the by-election that is going to be conducted in Mbeere North. Will Kindiki use his influence on the ground to make UDA win that seat? If they manage to win it, then that will be a vote of confidence on the influence of Kithure Kindiki in that region. But if he doesn't, then President William Ruto and his handlers will now try to question, or will now try to start asking questions about who best suits to be the running mate of President William Ruto in 2027. Then the other issue was to send a signal to ODM that don't be so much comfortable. We have options. If you try to play around here and there, you either make a decision to be in the broad-based government or you pack and leave. Because ODM has been sending mixed signals. There has been a lot of quarrels here and there, with one part of ODM saying that they can go out or they can move out of the broad-based government and go back to the street. That was being led by Orengo and the team. Then there's the other team led by Dr. Oburu that speaks about staying in the broad-based government up to 2027, where they will hold a discussion with President William Ruto's wing on the next course of action. So it was kind of sending a message to ODM to put their house in order because they have options. Then the other question that rises is, what will be the position of Kithure Kindiki in case President William Ruto decides to fold his party, which is UDA, and join ODM? Because there have been calls for him to fold UDA and come back home. And I think if you watch what was happening in Mombasa, there were people who even challenged him loudly and told him to come back to ODM, which he responded to.
I'm very proud that today, being president of Kenya, I have my roots in ODM. And nobody can take that away from me. You may not like it, but that is a fact. Sindio? Yes, you cannot write the story of William Ruto and complete it without saying he was a member of ODM. Not a member, he was a founder member and a deputy party leader of ODM. Are we together? Acha hiyo story. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Yeah? Mnasema nirudi nyumbani, si niko nyumbani tayari. What is the problem?
That is the question that Kindiki and his team will have to answer if President William Ruto decides to fold UDA and join ODM, because going into 2027, the key factor will be the numbers. If they form a coalition, will that coalition have numbers? And then secondly, President William Ruto might also look at having a party that has majority members of parliament in 2027. And if he joins ODM, that will give him an edge, because ODM already has structures and it is the only party, it is the party that has majority in parliament and senate as well. So it looks a little bit enticing to President William Ruto to fold UDA and join ODM so that he gets the numbers. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep monitoring what's going on in the political scene and we'll keep you guys posted. But if you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video.